Hello, we're here today continuing the Associa Gulf Coast Education Series, and we're here with Tom Masterson from AquaMizer. Tom's the owner of the company, and Tom, if I could, can you kind of walk us through not only yourself, but AquaMizer in general, and then how you help equate making our lives easier from the management perspective and certainly from the board of directors perspective?
Well, absolutely, Paul. Thank you so much for the introduction and the opportunity to tell you a little bit about our company and where we've come from. Myself personally, I've been working in multifamily in the condo housing community for more than 20 years. I own a utility billing company that analyzes consumption data from whether it's a master meter or a sub-metered aspect for individual units nationwide. And in doing that, we'd always been looking for a solution to the excess water consumption that happens on assets. And so as we studied products for years, we ran across this product, which came out about 10 years ago. It's called the AquaMizer Protector Flush System. And what it does is it eliminates water waste in an amazing way. So, AquaMizer itself is a water conservation company. It was founded in 2010. EcoSense, which is our dealership brand, is owned wholly by AquaMizer Inc. It's the manufacturer of the system. We're the authorized dealer, so we're the ones who actually do the installations and the sales cycle of it. AquaMizer Inc. itself really just manufactures the product and provides it as a supply side. We are in all 48 contiguous states of the United States, plus we also do work in Canada, and we've sold more than 100,000 of these units nationwide. So if you go to the next slide here, what does AquaMizer by EcoSense Solutions do for you as an association and as a community? Well, the first thing we do is we create operating budget efficiency. And what does that mean? We reduce your water costs, which is typically one of the larger expense line items in the operating budget for a condo association. To do this, we offer a patented technology that reduces your water consumption on the asset somewhere between 20 and 50%. So it's going to stop all leaking toilets, all running toilets. It's going to prevent catastrophic toilet tank floods, which can be very expensive if you have to pull in a company that does the cleaning and drying up, right? So by rebuilding the internal toilet engine, right, because there's nothing wrong with the porcelain of a toilet, the issue is the engine that runs it. So we're going to replace the engine and rebuild all the mechanical parts. And we're going to do that to not impact the material change of the individual residence unit. Because, here in Florida, the bylaws would state that you cannot make a material change to the unit without 75% of the homeowners and 75% of the lien holders voting for that aspect. So since we're only changing components inside of a toilet tank, you're not having that big issue, which does keep this as a board level discussion, allowing them to manage the water costs. We'll finance these projects so the community will be budget positive from the very first month, okay? Think about that, budget positive from the very first month. A realistic example would be if you had an asset and you reduce the water expense by $4,000 a month, well, our financing charge, which will be done over a 36-month cycle, typically works out to somewhere in that 20 to 25% range. Let's say it's $1,500 for this example. That's going to create a budget benefit of $2,500 a month. If you could increase the cash flow to your property's budget by $2,500 per month, would that be a benefit? Just a simple yes. Go to the next slide.
Whoops. Hang on one second. I'm getting there. Technical difficulties. There we go.
No worries. So what are the benefits of our system? Well, the single largest one is that it just decreases the asset's expenses. It does it from reducing the water usage. And we adjust the flush volume for optimal performance. So what does that mean, optimal performance? Well, our system is both UL rated and Green Circle certified to reduce your water consumption on a per flush basis from 42 to 50% from the stated rate on your individual toilet tank. But your tanks aren't actually using the stated rate. They're using much more than that. For example, the average 1.6 gallon per flush toilet is using 2.83 gallons per flush because the toilet isn't set to the bowl volume. It is set to whatever is convenient and whoever built it last. Okay? So we're going to come in, we're going to measure these toilets, we're going to make them to their optimal performance for the individual asset. So some will use a little bit less, some will use a little bit more, but the overall asset performance is what matters to us, the safety and the aspect that really drives your benefits. The system detects leaks. It does this because the only way to flush this system or cause it to refill is to actually activate the handle. It prevents water waste because, again, you're not going to have that leak and fill action that happens with a traditional toilet tank system. It prevents catastrophic toilet tank related floods. And what does that mean? Well, if anyone's had a pipe burst in the wall, it's flooded down 3 or 4 floors and caused massive environmental problems, this system cuts that off from toilet tanks. If this system, as an example, had the whole toilet tank get knocked in half with a battle axe, the water that's inside the tank would naturally get to the floor, but it will not turn on and re-engage the system to fill and constantly run water after water after water for up to hours when nobody's home. Reducing maintenance costs because this system is warranted for 10 years. You're going to have a system that basically, once it's installed by our certified installers, is a set and forget system for 10 years. Now, the flapper's life is a 5-year warranty, and all that's on there is a $1 silicone ring that needs to be replaced. But at 5 years is when the degradation curve starts. It's not actually on 5 years, they're all gone, right? So at 5 years, we try to reach back out to you, say, hey, we can send you out new silicone rings for all your flappers, and you can be proactively advanced on that. And it's environmentally friendly. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, actually, I just wanted to jump in here. So the way you're describing this, and let's use a 7-story tower, condominium tower, with, I'm just making this up, 10 units per floor. We're not asking the boards to do anything with their with their plumbing. We're not we're not cutting in access for walls, none of that stuff. We're talking specifically, if I'm understanding you properly, that this is a piece of the actual inner workings of the toilet. It's not going to affect the association's plumbing stacks and in any capacity. Am I understanding that correctly?
You are 100% correct. All we are doing is we are taking the toilet tank off of the existing toilet bowl and rebuilding the engine that's inside that existing tank. So it does not affect any building structure, any building components, anything along those lines. This is just the inside of the existing appliance. Okay?
Perfect. I'm sorry to get off track there, but I'll move to the next one.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Well, no, that's a perfect way to wrap up that slide, so it works just fine. So, Missy, now I got to pull myself back, so I'm laughing. Anyway, the real question we get many times is, how do you get started with our process? Well, our process is really very simple, believe it or not. We are trying to look for data. So up to 12 months worth of water billing details, so your individual commodity statements that you would get from your commodity provider. And why is that important? Well, let me give you some examples. In Miami, water has 3-tier rates for water and 2-tier rates for sewer. And what we need to do is figure out how much you're really using to find out what your real expense is for a gallon of water. So if we pull that water out of the system, how much you're really saving from financials to understand what that benefit is. As a counter argument, if you're in Pompano Beach, well, you get 10,000 gallons of water per individual unit for your base charges alone. So even if I could cut 50% of the water that you're using on each, I can't save you, and neither can anyone else any money at all. Okay? So it's understanding the actual true quantity and the cost of the water, what you're saving. Does it make sense to do any investment at all? So that's what we want to do.
So Tom,
do this in a complimentary
well, no, I got you there, but let me jump into, I want to be clear on that one. So this is using Miami versus Pompano Beach. I want to make the assumption, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that also relates to Tampa versus Sarasota versus Fort Myers,
100%.
Depending on the municipality. 100%. And gotcha. Okay, so it is different per geographic area. Got it. Okay.
Absolutely. So just so you kind of have a better understanding of this, Paul, is water rates charged differently in this state almost from street to street. So what you pay in St. Pete is different than what you pay in Tampa. What you pay in Tampa is different than what you pay in Tallahassee. What you pay in Tallahassee is different than Jacksonville. And in using Miami as an example, Miami has 177 different water rates, just if you're serviced by Miami-Dade Water and Sewer District. So regardless of where you're at, we have to do an evaluation to find out what you really pay for water. Because many times people will think, oh, he saved me 20% of my water, he's going to save me 20% of my water bill. Not always the case. Sometimes 20% of your water bill, or 20% of your consumption, is 50% of your water bill, and sometimes 20% of your consumption is none of your water bill. Okay? So doing that evaluation, allows us to provide a savings and cost benefit analysis that allows you to give and throw a thumbs up, thumbs down type recommendation to you, if you will. Our systems are, if we do a program for you, if we finance it, does it create that budget benefit that allows you to either reduce the cost for your homeowners or maintain their existing costs and allow you to do other projects without increasing their monthly fees? Okay.
Perfect.
Go to the next slide, please. So we just want to go through some similar association properties that we've done to give you an idea of what those benefits look like. So this is a project called 1060 Brickell. It was 567 units. We had forecasted that they would save roughly $5,400 a month. When we got into the units and we were able to actually look at the true consumptions on a unit by unit basis, we were able to trick those results down to 33% savings after all benefits. So on an annualized basis, it reduced the homeowner's individual unit cost by $155 a year from a budget perspective, which if you think about that, 155 times 567, you can do a lot of things on your property with that money.
Absolutely.
Next slide. Oops. That's all right. This one is Hidden Bay Condos. It's a smaller property. When we say smaller, it's 371 units, right? It's not necessarily very small, but we were able to cut the water consumption on that property by 40%, or a little more than $9,000 a year. So from a benefit for the budget, talking about $297 a year per unit, which again, very aggressive numbers.
Absolutely. And it's obviously a scenario where the bigger associations are going to save more money because they're using more naturally. But the savings can be realized and they're real.
They are real, but I'm going to continue this presentation. I'm going to show you that it's not always the biggest properties that save the most money. Okay.
Okay.
So
way to call me out. I love it.
Here.
I love it.
So this one's 125 units, right? So I kind of started with a big one and brought myself down because it does work for all assets as long as you have 50 toilet tanks on the property or more. So not necessarily units, it's toilet tank related. Okay. So in this one, we actually missed our results by a percentage point, but on a per unit basis, it worked out to $256 per year per benefit. Again, a nice project at 125. And here on the next slide, we're going to show you one more. This is a 50 unit location. Again, owner benefit $270 on a an annualized basis. So it doesn't have to be the 576 unit location, though we personally like those best. The 50 unit location works just as good if you're in a water spot where the cost of water is aggressive. So we do the evaluations on each asset to make sure we're returning to you an actionable data set that goes, man, does this work for me or does it not, right? That's our goal. Find something that works for the association, bring their cost structure down, allow them to have those finances elsewhere. And as we're sitting here right now, and our time frame right now, we're seeing massive job losses and layoffs. These are going to be important characteristics to look at to make sure that the association can stay healthy. So.
Absolutely. So from a perspective of, and I know in the previous slide there was that getting started idea. From a perspective of the manager, if the what should the manager be looking for that might trigger them to say, hey, I got to give Tom a call because is it purely I have so many toilets in the facility, or is it I think I'm spending too much money, or a combination of a little bit of everything?
Actually, it's a combination of a little bit of everything, unfortunately. So the easiest way for a property to say, will this be a benefit for me, is to look at the consumption on their water bill itself, right? The challenge with that is the consumption on the water bills, they put it in language that the general everyday person doesn't understand. So it might be in T gallons, K gallons, CCF, H gallons, HCF, right? They put all this language on there so that the everyday person can't look at their water bill and just understand what they're paying those times, okay? So if you look at it and you do the math and you go, yeah, I got 100,000 gallons a month worth of water, I've got 250 toilet tanks on my property, and you divide that together, if that number is more than 1,000 gallons per toilet tank, you have a potential winner, okay? And that's really the simple math of it, right? So, but we don't mind. If you send us the bills, you send us the unit mix for the property, we're going to do that for you quickly, and we'll be able to come back to you and let you know something right off the bat if it's a potential opportunity, and then we'll go through the full evaluation process to really get down to dollars and cents for you. Because some things that even if we are not the correct project for you, you as an association will have actionable information to say, do I need to put a sub-meter on my swimming pool and my cooling tower? Do I need to look at, trying to get everyone to put new aerators in the property? Those small things that can make a difference on the overall water cost only matter if you know what you're paying for the real water cost. So we kind of look at this as a service just as much as we do as an opportunity to earn your business and your trust.
So Tom, I really want to appreciate the time that you've spent here. You've given us a lot of information and certainly some things to talk about and to think about for managers and boards. Here locally, here in Florida, what's the best way or the most convenient way if a manager or if a board member want to reach out to you directly based off of kind of the questions even I'm asking? Does it need to be total number of toilets? Does it need to be total number of units? What should I be looking for? So if the manager or the board member want to reach out to you guys directly, what's the best, most efficient way to do that?
Well, our Gulf Coast representative is Zach Abbott. His email is very simple, zabbott@ecosensesolutions.com. Or you can, of course, go to our website and get to the information button and send us email that way as well. But Zach is going to be your go-to contact. His last slide here is going to have his information on it direct. And then, of course, if you need anything from Zach that he doesn't know the answer to, he's going to pull me in and we're going to get you all the details you need.
Understood and outstanding. Again, Tom, really appreciate the opportunity to chat with you and continuing on our educational series here with Associa Gulf Coast. One of our pillars here is to ensure that our managers and certainly our boards have more information rather than less. And having a partner like you engage this only helps solidify the foundation of information that we give to our managers and our boards. So again, truly appreciate the opportunity to chat with you. Much continued success, not only for you personally, but for you as a company. And we really, truly appreciate the work that you've done for our association.
Hey, Paul, thank you so much for just giving us the opportunity to teach you guys a little bit more about what we do and the benefits and how it can be a positive solution for your associations.
Outstanding. Thank you again.